Welcome to What If Naruto Had Martian Manhunter's Powers? Where we left off was basically Naruto training Bakugo and Todoroki. And so that is where I will be going. However, I do want to let you guys know I might be a little incoherent, I might be a little confused. There's a couple reasons for that, one of which is I'm currently in a lot of pain. Because I have a cavity in my tooth and it hurts so bad. And I'm also stressed because reasons that you don't really need to know. Anyways, so where we're gonna continue is basically, so Deku is training Todoroki and Bakugo for the UA Sports Festival. And so the training goes pretty well. And when they finally get to the festival, Todoroki and Bakugo are on par with each other. However, Deku, since he was training them, has also made his own powers significantly stronger, especially since both of them are supposedly good against him. And so Deku is just like, I've become much stronger myself. Let's put this to the test. And so we're going to go to the first part of the UA Sports Festival. Deku himself decides he's gonna fly across the course. Bakugo is flying and Todoroki is skating. And Deku, since he has extra time, he decides to help everybody else out, and he removes all the landmines with his mind out of the field so they can easily just cross. Then next part is the headband thing, where Deku decides they're all going to be on different teams because it'd be too OP if all three of them were together. And so Bakugo and Todoroki choose to actually be on the same team and going after Deku. And Deku has Uraraka, the guy with the black crow guy, Tsukiyomi, and that girl with a bunch of electronics. I know I'm a bit inconsistent and I'm a bit confused. I'm also running on 3.5 hours of sleep and I'm doing this for you guys. I gotta get this part out. Anyways, so Deku decides that it's his best bet to stay away from Todoroki and Bakugo as much as possible because he's putting a limit to his powers, because if he didn't, he'd absolutely wipe the floor with everybody in attendance. So he decides to limit himself, and it works pretty well, honestly. So Deku decides he's going to take everybody else's headbands, and so he begins to steal headbands left and right until he pulls up to the copy quirk guy. The copy quirk guy copies Deku's psychokinesis, so basically his ability to pick things up and everything. And he tries to use it, but he doesn't have any sort of control over it since Deku's is so powerful. And so he ends up accidentally knocking down all of his teammates and losing the battle there. And Deku ends up finally facing Bakugo and Todoroki. And they start using their abilities. And Deku decides to use his strength to break the ice that Todoroki is sending at him with one punch. The force will break all the ice. And Bakugo's explosion, Deku decides to stop that with his psychic powers. He catches them and throws them all back, actually disqualifying them and getting their headbands. And yeah, so Deku ends up winning the chariot battle. And so we go to the final battles, so like the 1v1s, and it's Deku versus Shinso again. So Shinso is like, so how's your day going, Izuku? And since he can read minds, Deku can, he knows what Shinso's quirk is and what he's trying to do, but he decides to play along with it. So Izuku is just like, I don't know. Seems like your power isn't working too well. Wouldn't you agree? And Shinso's like, what? Impossible. How are you resisting my power? And Naruto explains the fact that he has his own psychic powers and he put up a mental block against Shinso's. And then uh, Izuku is just like, but for your sake and your dignity, I'll let you get through. And so he brought down his mental block and Shinso took over his mind. But then Izuku decides to take over Shinso's and looks at Shinso's and amplifies his quirk times two. And looks at Shinso and makes Shinso walk off the stage. And Shinso's like, what? I was controlling you. What? I'm so confused. What just happened? And Izuku explains that he also has his own mind control powers. He has like, what, 7, 8, 9 different powers you can't compete with. And Shinso's like, what? I didn't even know that was possible in a human. And Izuku's like, neither did I until I had them. I was actually diagnosed as quirkless originally. And Shinso was like, what? You were diagnosed as quirkless even though you have so many quirks? And Izuku's like, yeah, I was. And so Shinso's just sitting there dumbfounded. And so we continue on to the Bakugo versus Todoroki fight. They pretty even, and just for the sake of everything, Todoroki and Bakugo both go all out, and Bakugo ends up beating Todoroki. Then those are the top three. Naruto being first, Bakugo being second, and Todoroki being third. Yeah, so that's how the UA Sports Festival went. Every hero wanted all three of them. However, Endeavor asked for them too. So Izuku, Todoroki, and Bakugo go to Endeavor's agency. And Endeavor is like, Todoroki, you finally embraced your fire, have you? And then Todoroki is like, yeah, since it's my fire, not yours. Ah, I see, you're dumping your little twat, aren't you? And Todoroki just looks at him with anger. And Izuku decides to read Endeavor's mind, and he just sees everything Endeavor has done. And Izuku just looks at Endeavor, he's like, wow. This is one villainous dude for a hero. And Izuku says that to Endeavor's face. And so Endeavor decides to actually go after Naruto with a... He's holding back, obviously, but he tries to punch Naruto, and Naruto just stands there, and the punch goes straight through him, and Izuku is just like, you wish. I have the ability of intangibility, so you literally can't touch me if I don't want you to. And Endeavor's like, this is too OP. This is not fair. And so, Izuku, Todoroki, and Bakugo are hanging out. Blah, blah. And they get their entire course done there. And that's when eventually they end up back in UA. They go to the camp. And at this camp, we find the League of Villains pulling up. Where all of them, including All For One, knowing Izuku Midoriya will be there, pulls up. And Izuku senses them all appear. Izuku looks at Aizawa, he's like, they're here. And there's one unbelievably strong. Not even you could take him. And Izuku decides he's going to go fight All For One, while he lets everybody else handle the rest. So Izuku decides he's going to 1v1 All For One. And all the other villains try to stop him, and Izuku just ignores them. And so All For One is just like, let him come. All For One looks at Izuku and he's just like, I will take your quirks. And there's nothing you can do about it. Izuku just looks at All For One, he's like, I like to see you try. And that just made All For One angry. So he started using all the combos he was using against All Might. And Deku just kept going intangible, so he literally couldn't hit Deku. And then Deku just flew towards him, staying intangible, and then just hit him straight in the face with his super strength, sending him flying towards the ground. That's when Izuku uses his laser beam eyes, and that's when Izuku's just like, you could never beat me, All For One. Also, do you even know who the successor uh is for One For All? And All For One's like, yeah, it's Mirio, right? 1 million. And Izuku just looks at him. He's like, wrong. We kept this a secret, but it is Bakugo. We just made it seem like it was 1 million. And All For One is like, what? How? Why? And so Izuku explains that they all knew that you were watching. And since Izuku confronted All Might about everything, since he can read minds, he told All Might this is the game plan they're gonna do. And it worked, because, well, you're here on the ground and you can't do nothing to me. So what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna put these power dampening cuffs on you so you can't do nothing. And you're gonna sit there and you're gonna go to prison. And All For One is just like, damn you, Izuku Midoriya. That's when Izuku runs around to the rest of them, knocking them all out. And they all end up going to prison. And honestly, I think that's going to be the end of the What If in general. I know I kind of speed ran it here, but to be honest, I'm not really feeling this What If anymore. Like, I felt like the first two parts and it was sick and I enjoyed it, but like then I just started running out of ways to make it interesting for you guys. Though I did do my best here. I wasn't just throwing it away. I put up a poll to see if you guys wanted me to finish it, so I decided I'd finish it. I tried to do it in the most entertaining way possible. And at the beginning of the video, I explained that I'm also in excruciating pain and am exhausted right now, so yeah, so here we are. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace!